Welcome everyone to this week's edition of the WyoSports video blog. I'm Robert Gagliardi, Senior Editor of WyoSports, here to preview the University of Wyoming men's basketball team's game Saturday at New Mexico at the Pit. Season finale for both teams. Cowboys coming off maybe one of their best games of the season, certainly over the last month, but really even over the whole entire conference season, in a 76-53 win over Utah State Wednesday night on senior night. And everything just seemed to click for the Cowboys. Shot the ball well. Tied a season low with 6 turnovers, 26 assists on 30 baskets. Those assists were a season high. I mean, the 53 points allowed is the second most it's allowed in conference play. I mean, everything that could have gone right for the Cowboys did, and maybe this is a sign that this team's going to get back to the way it played a lot of the parts of this season that got it to the 22-8 record. But a new test on Saturday as they face the Lobos, and even though New Mexico is, uncharacteristic New Mexico, 14-15, 6-11 in the league, lost 8 straight games. This isn't the team that's won, 3 straight conference tournament titles and all that, but it's still the Pit. It's still New Mexico senior night, and they'll say goodbye to 2 seniors, Hugh Greenwood and Deshaun Delaney, who are arguably their 2 best players. And as anyone that was at the game in Laramie on Wednesday, or read about it, listened to it, the emotion was high, and the emotion's going to be high in Albuquerque and in the Pit on Saturday. This is a place where Wyoming has struggled mightily, lost 11 games in a row at the Pit, going back. The last time they won there was 2003. So it's not going to be easy. But if Wyoming can do a lot of those same things, I mean, you throw those statistics against any team, you're going to be hard-pressed to lose. So if Wyoming, I don't know if Wyoming's going to be that sharp, but if it can continue to get good scoring, it was great to see Larry Nance kind of look like the old Larry Nance. 21 points, 10 rebounds. Josh Adams adding 17 points. If they can get to that level, or even close to that level, they're going to stand a really good chance to win. I think one thing that Wyoming will need to do, and this was a key against Utah State, was watch the perimeter defense. In the game against New Mexico and Laramie, if everyone remembers, 63-62, Wyoming won in overtime. Lucky to get it into overtime, and then a dunk late in overtime by Larry Nance Jr. won the game. But Hugh Greenwood for New Mexico, their senior guard, 5 3-pointers. And Wyoming's kind of been susceptible to giving up the threes here recently over the last month or so. Utah State was just 6 of 18, but it did hit some shots early in that, or at least in the first half of that game, to make it somewhat interesting. If Wyoming can hold New Mexico to 6 of 18 from 3, or somewhere in that area, I think they'll be in good shape. But if Greenwood gets going, or Delaney, or any of those guys kind of get going, that crowd's going to be loud. It's going to get emotional in there, and it's going to be tough to overcome that. I think another big key will be focus, and Josh Adams told me about this week. Focus and attitude and things like that, especially the focus part, because it's going to be loud at the Pit. Even if it's a back and forth game, or even if their team's not doing well, that place gets loud. There's going to be 15,000 plus people there, and there's going to be times where Wyoming's not going to be able to hear the calls from the sideline or from the bench, and they're going to have to rely on that focus to know what they need to do. That veteran leadership with Riley Graybo and Adams and Nance and Cook and all the guys should help in that matter, but they're going to have to be sharp. It's a game Wyoming can win, and I believe maybe earlier in the week I may have picked Wyoming not to win this game. I'm gonna change. I guess that's the beauty of things. You can change your mind anytime you want. I'm going to go with Wyoming in a tight one, 64-61, maybe even overtime. The last 3 games between these two teams have gone into overtime, so we'll see. If Wyoming wins and Utah State beats Colorado State on Saturday, Wyoming will get the 3rd seed in the conference tournament. Wyoming wins, but CSU wins, it's, Wyoming will be the 4th seed. Either way, Wyoming's the 4 or 5 seed, more than likely. Probably a rematch with Utah State next week at the Mountain West Tournament. But there is a scenario, as I said, if Wyoming wins, Utah State beats Colorado State, Wyoming will be the 3rd seed next week in Vegas. That'll do it for this edition of the WyoSports video blog. For more University of Wyoming and high school sports, see the Wyoming Tribune Eagle and Laramie Boomerang, and log on to wyosports.net. Thank you very much, everybody.